Inside a shiny gym filled with bright lights and loud music, a man named Bradley was being really mean. He pointed at a woman on the treadmill. She was a little overweight and trying her best to exercise. Bradley laughed loudly and shouted, "You don't belong here, sweetheart. You're ruining the gym." The woman's face turned red. She looked down, sad and embarrassed. The gym was noisy with people lifting heavy weights, and their machines made loud banging sounds. The mirrors on the walls flashed with bright colors. But everything stopped for a moment. Everyone looked at the woman. Some rich gym members in fancy clothes smiled at Bradley's joke and laughed along with him. They called out, "Get out of here! You're just taking up space." Others, who didn't have as much money, stayed quiet. They didn't laugh. Some looked away. Some clenched their fists, too afraid to speak. Then, something loud happened. A man nearby, strong and serious, slammed down his barbell. The noise echoed through the gym. It was Jason Statham. He was lifting weights before, but now he stood up straight and walked toward Bradley. His face looked angry like a storm, and his voice was deep and scary. "Get on your knees and say sorry to her. Now," Jason shouted. Everyone turned to look. Bradley still smiled like he didn't care. He said, "She's just a joke." His voice was mean. The rich gym members cheered for Bradley. One shouted, "Yeah, she doesn't belong here." Another said, "She's slowing us down." But the poor gym members were quiet. They didn't cheer. They looked scared. Jason's eyes lit up with fire. He was very angry, but he didn't yell. He stood tall and strong like a lion about to roar. A young woman who worked at the gym gasped loudly. Her eyes were wide. She could feel that something big was about to happen. Everyone could feel it. It was like the gym was shaking. Bradley didn't notice. He just laughed again, not knowing that his bad behavior was about to be punished. Jason's fists were tight. His muscles were big, and his eyes were locked on Bradley. He was ready to fight if he had to. Everyone in the gym held their breath. "Like and subscribe," said a voice from nearby. Stay tuned to see what happens next when Jason Statham faces the mean trainer. And comment where you're watching from. The gym was full of energy. People lifted weights that banged loudly like thunder. The floor made squeaky sounds when they walked. The mirrors flashed bright colors. Sweat was in the air, and loud music made the walls shake. But behind the cool look of the gym, something was wrong. Bradley acted like he owned the gym. He walked around showing off his big muscles and perfect body. He took selfies and shouted, "Only winners train here." His voice was mean and sharp. He smiled when he made others feel bad. People on his social media liked his pictures, but they didn't see how cruel he really was. One day, a new woman came into the gym. She was quiet and shy. She looked around with a little bit of hope in her eyes. She wanted to get healthy and feel better. She stepped onto the floor carefully. But Bradley saw her right away. He smiled a mean smile. He loved to pick on people like her, people who were nervous or looked different. He started walking toward her, like a shark swimming closer to its next meal. Some rich gym members stood nearby. They wore expensive workout clothes. One of them said, "Bradley is the king." Another said, "He makes people perfect." They laughed and sipped drinks like they were better than everyone else. Their smiles were fake and full of pride. In the corner, the gym's poorer members used old machines. They wore simple clothes. A skinny boy whispered, "He's a snake." His hands were tight, and he looked scared. A woman next to him said, "He hurts the weak." They were angry but too afraid to say anything out loud. Bradley kept teasing. He yelled things like, "What are you doing here?" and "You'll never change." The woman on the treadmill looked down. Her hands shook. Her hope started to fade. Jason Statham was nearby again, doing his own workout. He had been watching Bradley for weeks. He saw how Bradley bullied people and acted like he was a king. Jason never said anything before. But now he was ready. "This place stinks because of him," Jason growled. His voice was quiet but strong. The gym felt like it was about to burst. Bradley was getting louder and meaner. Jason's anger was building like a volcano. The woman's arrival was like a match lighting a fire. Then everything stopped again. Jason slammed his barbell down. "Apologize to her. Right now," he shouted. His voice was so loud that everyone stopped moving. Even the music seemed to pause. The woman stood frozen, holding onto the treadmill. Her eyes were wide, full of fear and sadness. Jason took a step forward. Each step made the floor creak. He looked like a giant coming to protect someone small. His voice growled again, "You better say sorry before you regret it." Bradley just laughed. "She's trash," he said. His voice was cold. The woman flinched, and some rich members laughed again. "Get her out of here," one woman in shiny clothes yelled. "She's ruining the gym," a man in a suit shouted. They clapped and stomped their feet. They thought it was funny. They didn't care that the woman was crying. But the poor gym members didn't laugh. They stood still. Their eyes were wide. Their hands were in fists. They were afraid, but something inside them was changing. They were starting to feel brave. Jason walked closer. His boots made loud thumps on the floor. His muscles were tight. "Keep laughing," he said. "You'll swallow your own words soon." Bradley still thought he was in charge. He stepped up and said, "I'm the god of this gym. No one can touch me." But he didn't know that he had just made a big mistake. His words were like fire in a room full of gas. The rich people kept yelling. "Kick her out," said a man holding a fancy phone. "She's not like us," sneered a woman in tight pink leggings. Their voices filled the gym, mean and sharp. But the poor gym members stayed silent. Their eyes watched carefully. Something was changing in the air. The worker from earlier shouted, "He's standing up to Bradley." Her voice was full of hope. Everything was about to explode. Jason took another step. His eyes were full of fire. The woman looked at him with hope in her eyes. She was still scared, but she felt safer now. The music stuttered. The gym was shaking, not from the machines, but from what was about to happen. Bradley still smiled like he was in control. But he was wrong. The rich members cheered for him. They stomped and shouted, "Throw her out!" But in the corner, the poor members didn't move. Their silence was loud. They were tired of being afraid. Something inside them was changing. Jason looked around. His fists were ready. His heart was full of justice. He wasn't just standing up for one woman. He was standing up for everyone Bradley had ever hurt. Bradley didn't see it coming. He laughed one more time. But this time, his laugh didn't sound so strong. Jason's steps grew louder. His voice became sharper. The gym became quiet again, but not for long. Something big was coming. Everyone could feel it. Jason Statham, the strong protector, was about to teach Bradley a lesson he would never forget. Statham remembered how mean the gym trainer Bradley had been. Bradley used to say really hurtful things. His mean words felt like sharp knives in the air. Once, Bradley made fun of a skinny boy who wore old shoes. "Poor rats can't even lift." Bradley laughed. The boy looked very sad. Rich people, wearing fancy clothes, laughed with Bradley. They held shiny bottles of protein drinks, not caring about anyone else. The gym was shiny and full of heavy weights and big mirrors. It looked nice, but Bradley was not nice at all. He picked favorites. He was super kind to rich people, but ignored the ones who didn't have a lot of money. Bradley tricked people with his fake kindness, like a snake hiding in the grass. Statham saw it all. His eyes got serious. Every time he lifted weights, he made a silent promise to himself. He would stop Bradley. One day, Bradley was being extra nice to a rich lady. He told her, "You're my star, darling." But when a poor man asked Bradley for help, Bradley just waved his hand and walked away. That made everything clear to Statham. Bradley was not helping people. He was only helping himself. Then Statham saw a woman. She looked scared. She was standing near a treadmill, looking down, her back bent. She reminded him of many others Bradley had hurt. The air in the gym felt heavy. The poor people whispered behind benches. "Bradley is a leech," said a janitor, peeking around nervously. "He takes everything from us," said a tired mom, gripping the bench tight. Some rich people still laughed, but others were starting to look confused. One night, a young medical student named Tyler walked up to Statham near the lockers. His eyes were big and worried. "Bradley's powders are poison," he whispered. He gave Statham a paper with lab results. The paper said the protein powder Bradley sold had dangerous stuff in it, stuff that could make people sick. Tyler looked scared. "I tried to tell people, but no one listens to me," he said. He didn't have power, and Bradley was too popular. Statham took the paper. He didn't say much, but inside, he knew this was the proof he needed. Another night, Statham stayed near the office and listened through the door. The lights glowed softly, and Bradley was talking on the phone. Bradley laughed and said, "Your roids are my jackpot." That meant he was getting money from illegal steroids that helped make his muscles look fake. Statham used his phone to record the call. He now had the proof, bad powders and fake muscles. He waited for the right moment to tell everyone. The gym had become a place full of lies, and Statham was ready to fight back. He thought again about the woman on the treadmill, how she had looked so small and sad. Her pain gave him strength. The gym was loud with weights clanking and music playing. But soon, it would go quiet. Statham's heart burned with truth. He had the lab test. He had the phone call. He had seen the cruelty. The moment had come. Bradley was laughing in the gym, still acting like the boss. That laugh made Statham so angry that he exploded like a firework. "You're a liar, Bradley. You built your empire on poison and lies," he shouted. Everyone stopped. The gym got quiet. Weights hit the ground with a big echo. People turned to look. The woman on the treadmill stood still. Her eyes were wide. The mirrors showed a storm of surprise. The gym felt like it was shaking. "You sell bad powders," Statham growled, holding up Tyler's paper. "The lab proved it." People gasped. Rich clients looked shocked. Their fancy clothes suddenly felt heavy. A man with a laptop bag whispered, "Our trainer is a fraud." A lady with big sunglasses cried out, "He tricked us." The same people who used to laugh now looked scared and angry. But the poor clients, they looked proud. Their eyes shone. They were finally being heard. They whispered and nodded. Their stories were true. Statham didn't stop. He pressed a button on the gym speaker and played the phone call. Bradley's voice came through the speakers. The call said clearly that Bradley used steroids to look strong. Everyone heard it. Their mouths dropped open. The rich people looked pale. The truth hit them hard. "He's fake," shouted a man in a suit. "We trusted him," cried a yoga lady. The air in the gym was strange, full of fear and hope at the same time. The woman on the treadmill looked stronger now. Her eyes had a new spark. Statham stared at Bradley. "You treated poor people like trash," he yelled. "You said, 'Poor rats don't lift,' and made them feel small. People remembered those cruel words. The poor clients, who had stayed quiet for so long, finally shouted. "We knew he was fake," a thin teenager yelled. "I heard him make fun of us," shouted the tired mom from before. Now the crowd was split, rich clients shocked and betrayed, poor clients angry and proud. The whole gym felt like it was on fire with truth. Bradley tried to talk. He was sweating. "It's not true," he squeaked. But no one believed him. His muscles didn't matter anymore. He looked weak and small. People started to shout. "You lied to us," a man in a hoodie yelled. He threw his drink on the floor. "You're a fraud," screamed a rich lady. The poor clients started cheering. "Burn the fraud," the teenager screamed. "You're nothing now," the mom added. Their voices rose like a wave. Bradley looked scared. His legs shook. His smile was gone. The strong trainer was now a weak, scared man. The air in the gym smelled like the truth. People were tired of being tricked. Rich people threw their drinks. Poor people stepped forward, their faces full of fire. The woman on the treadmill stood tall now. Her hands stopped shaking. Her eyes glowed with hope. She looked strong. The gym mirrors showed her clearly, a hero in the middle of a big storm. The gym had changed. The heavy weights were silent. No one was lifting anymore. Everyone watched Bradley fall apart. Statham shouted again. "Walk away, Bradley, or I'll tell the whole city about your lies." The lights flickered like lightning. Bradley's fake look cracked open. The weights on the floor hummed quietly, like they knew the truth too. The woman stood like a lighthouse in the storm. She was not scared anymore. The rich clients weren't laughing. They were mad. "You sold us lies," shouted a man, slamming his drink down. "You're a fraud." "We're leaving," screamed the socialite. They had changed. The same people who once mocked the poor were now turning on Bradley. The poor clients cheered louder. Their fists went up like machines. "Burn the fraud," yelled the wiry teen again. "You're nothing now," cried the mom. The whole gym was full of noise, angry noise, but powerful. Bradley looked like a broken puppet. He could barely stand. Statham didn't need to say more. The crowd did it for him. Bradley had lost everything. His power, his fake fame, his lies. The woman stood still, her shoulders lifted, her eyes shining with strength. Her quiet strength was like a tiny star in the night. The gym had changed forever. The truth had won. The mirrors showed not Bradley's fake muscles anymore, but the strength of real people who stood up and fought back. Jason Statham walked into the gym like a giant superhero. He was strong and calm, and everyone could feel something big was going to happen. The gym went super quiet. People stopped lifting weights, running on treadmills, or talking. Everyone stared. They knew something important was about to begin. Bradley, the mean trainer, had ruled the gym for a long time. He was bossy and treated some people badly, especially the woman who just wanted to be healthy. She wasn't rich, and Bradley didn't treat her fairly. But now, Jason Statham was here, and things were about to change. Jason's voice was loud and powerful. It was like a sword made of fire. He pointed at Bradley and said, "Say sorry to her. Right now." His voice felt like thunder. Everyone felt it in their chest. Bradley looked scared. The gym was shaking like there was a storm inside. Rich clients who had trusted Bradley yelled, "You tricked us, you snake!" Poorer clients shouted, "Crash and burn Bradley!" Everyone was angry. The woman who Bradley had treated badly wasn't scared anymore. She stood tall now. Her eyes sparkled like little stars. She looked strong. Jason stood beside her like a superhero standing next to a rising star. The people in the gym, all rich and poor, cheered together. Their voices were loud like a waterfall. They were proud of the woman and thankful to Jason. Bradley looked smaller now. The gym was different. The weights didn't move. The mirrors showed Bradley's sad, ashamed face. He finally said with a trembling voice, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." He looked at the woman. "Please forgive me." Then he turned to Jason and whispered, "I was a fool." His voice cracked. He wasn't the proud man from before. He was just a broken trainer now. The gym felt heavy. The mats on the floor were quiet. The mirrors showed Bradley's true self now, not a strong leader, but a fallen bully. His face looked pale. His hands shook like tree leaves in the wind. The woman stood tall and strong. She didn't shake anymore. She looked like a hero. Jason saw her strength and smiled a little. His voice, sharp and clear, said, "You are stronger than this bully ever was." She nodded and stepped up to the treadmill. Her hands grabbed it like it was her sword. She was ready to run, to fight, to win. The gym lights glowed around her like magic. People stared in amazement. They started clapping. First a rich tech guy shouted, "You're our hero." A fancy lady said, "She has a heart." Her hands clapped loudly too. Poorer clients cheered even louder. A skinny teen raised his fist and yelled, "She's unstoppable." A mom cried, "You're a warrior." Everyone's cheers filled the gym like music. The sounds were not like before, when people yelled mean things. These sounds were full of hope and strength. Bradley didn't belong anymore. He slowly walked toward the locker room. His head was low. His hands still shook. He was not the king of the gym anymore. The woman didn't look at him. Her eyes stayed strong, focused on the people who believed in her. The gym lights flickered like stars, and the iron weights clanked like drums of victory. Jason stood tall. He had helped the gym become a better place. The rich and poor people clapped and cheered together. They weren't divided anymore. They were one team now. The manager of the gym came through the crowd. His boots thudded on the soft mats. He slammed a clipboard on the bench and yelled, "You're done, Bradley. This gym is fair now." His voice sounded like thunder. The gym's lights got brighter. The weights almost hummed with happiness. The gym had been saved. Everyone was happy. The crowd cheered loudly. They wanted to help the woman keep training. They believed in her. The rich clients waved their gym cards in the air. "We'll pay for her," they shouted. The same tech bro from earlier yelled, "You're our strength." The socialite cried, "You've got this." Poorer clients lifted their fists and shouted, "We've got your back." A wiry teen bellowed, "You're a force." A mom cried, "You're a warrior." All the voices together made a wonderful sound. It was a promise. They would never let anyone bully people again. Everyone was united like a big family. Jason gave a small nod. He didn't need to say anything else. Everyone knew what he had done. He had saved the gym. The woman stood proudly. Her chin was high. Her eyes sparkled. She was not just someone who trained there anymore. She was a hero like Jason. The people in the gym pressed forward, eyes shining. They all said together, "Together we rise." It echoed through the gym like a big wave. The gym was a new place now. It wasn't ruled by fear or unfairness anymore. It was filled with kindness, fairness, and strength. The woman looked around at everyone. Her eyes glowed. Her smile was strong. She knew this was just the beginning. Jason walked toward the exit. His boots made a steady sound. He looked calm. He didn't need a parade or a trophy. He just needed to see that things were better now. The mirrors showed his reflection as he left, a brave man who made things right. Behind him, the people cheered again. The rich clients raised their gym cards and shouted, "We stand as one." The socialite smiled and said, "You showed us the way." Poorer clients slammed their lockers with a loud clang. A teen shouted, "No more bullies." A mom called out, "We rise together." Their voices were strong and beautiful. They weren't like the sad chants from before when people yelled mean things. These voices were full of love and hope. The narrator's voice filled the air like a song. Justice shines like the stars. Truth is powerful. Cruelty is gone. The proof was all around. The people had changed. The gym had changed. The gym was quiet now, but it felt alive. The lights glowed with joy. The weights didn't just sit there, they seemed proud too. Everyone had made a promise. They would never let someone like Bradley hurt people again. The woman's shining eyes showed that promise. Jason's walk away was like a superhero finishing his mission. His footsteps were steady. His shadow is long and strong. The gym was a fortress now. A safe place. A place where everyone, rich or poor, could be treated with kindness. It was a place where strength came from helping others, not hurting them. The people were still cheering. The air felt electric with excitement. The woman stood at the front of the gym. Her hands didn't shake. Her eyes were bright. She was their new champion. The narrator said, "Her story will be remembered." It lit up this gym like a bright star. Everyone felt it. Everyone believed it. Jason gave one last look. His voice, like a hero's final line in a movie, boomed, "Crush bullies, or they'll crush you." His words were strong, simple, and powerful. The weights seemed to hum. The mirrors sparkled. The lights flickered like a fire of hope. Jason turned and said one more thing, "Build a family. Don't build a battlefield." The crowd was quiet for a second, letting his words settle. Then the cheering started again. The woman, proud and strong, stood as a reminder of their journey. She had gone from being mistreated to becoming the heart of the gym. She had never given up. And now, she had an entire gym cheering her on. The crowd, rich and poor together, shouted, "Together we rise." Their voices rang through the walls, louder than ever. This was their new gym. A gym of fairness, of family, of strength and heart. And this time, everyone had a place. If you liked this story, tell me in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more fun adventures and mysteries. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.